Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. Hey everyone, it's the week of September 9th to 15th. Talia here with your weekly horoscope podcast, and it's a big week with the stars as much as it is in the stars. I know I'll be glued to my TV on Tuesday night watching the debate between Vice President Harris and Trump, and then the VMAs on Wednesday, which have a whole host of beloved Gen Z pop stars. I'm really enjoying music again, like Chappell Roan, Charlie XCX's comeback. Funny enough, Ophi actually did Charlie's first ever astrology reading years ago. Sabrina Carpenter, a Taurus, Billie Eilish. There's just a lot of good radio play music. It's saucy, it's spicy, it's rebellious, it's Age of Aquarian, and I'm loving it. I'm here for it. So what's going on in the stars? Well, Monday, we get the return of Mercury to its home sign of Virgo. This is Mercury's second pass through Virgo, and as you know, probably by now, Mercury is a planet that rules data, communication, information. Well, Mercury was in Virgo already from July 25th until August 14th. But on August 5th, it turned retrograde. So it started backing up through the zodiac and then went into Leo for a few weeks there. So this Monday, September 9th, it hits Virgo again, and it's there until September 26th. So that means the next 3 weeks, we kind of get a do-over or a second chance to pick things up that maybe started getting off to a running start right after those Capricorn full moons on June 21st and July 21st. We're all pumped up and ready to sit down and get organized. And then, boom, the retrograde came along and made it really hard to focus and get our ducks in a row. So I think this Mercury's return to Virgo is just what we need for this back to school energy that may have been lacking. Now, how's that going to affect the debates? I'm going to pull up charts here for Kamala and Donald. I'm on a first name basis with them now. But did you guys see Kamala talking about being a Libra? We posted it on our Instagram. If you don't follow us at AstroTwins, you absolutely should. We found an interview. My therapist actually found it. So, gotta love a good Aquarius therapist. And someone was interviewing her and talked about her and Doug being Libras. So you gotta watch it. On Tuesday, Mercury is literally moving, like literally that day, into Kamala's fourth house of women. It's going to be right on her IC. The IC is the line that divides the third house of communication and the fourth house of home, family, women, the feminine, nurturing mothers, all those domestic-y things. So she's going to really have that fire there to talk about the issues that her female voters, or the people who love women who are voting for her, will want to hear. She may be a little more sensitive. I know that there's not going to be I know that one of the agreements that was made was that the mics would be off when the other one is talking, which kind of sucks. And we're going to miss all the sparring. We've got a Gemini rising in Kamala, and Trump is a Gemini with a Leo rising. She's a Libra. But there's a lot of Gemini between the two of them. Actually, they both have a Gemini North node and a Sagittarius South node. So, this could be like an old school rap battle gone wild, or maybe a modern one between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. No holds barred, nothing held back, and man, we won't get the hot mic to hear what they're muttering and saying, but that might actually be for the best. Mercury in Virgo, less dramatic than Mercury in Leo, but it is very cutting. The critiques could really hit home and there's a little too much truth in them. Now for Donald Trump, Mercury is going to be right close to his ascendant. So he's a 29-degree Leo ascendant, and Mercury is going to be at 2 degrees Virgo, right in the beginning of his first house. So we can expect him to come out bloviating, pumping himself up, talking all the smack that we know that he will, but making some really grandiose gaslighting assertions. I found something else that's way fascinating too about the planets on the day of the debate as well as the day of the election. Jupiter, the larger than life, the planet that actually rules our rulers. Jupiter is actually the Roman version of the Greeks' Zeus. So leaders, kings, gods all fall under Jupiter's domain. Jupiter is going to be at 20 degrees Gemini this Tuesday, September 10th. And guess where it's going to be on November 5th? 20 degrees Gemini once again. And that is extremely significant for a couple of reasons. So it'll be retrograde during election day. It's direct during the debate this week. So that means whatever gets said, whatever gets put out there this week is going to get checked. It's going to be coming back around to either help or haunt people. Like what is said during this debate is so important. And, Mercury retrograde last month was pretty kind to Kamala. She came out swinging and social media was backing her up. It wasn't so kind to Trump and J.D. Vance. He had low turnouts, and J.D. Vance has become meme-ified like nobody's business. But what's going to be demanded now with Mercury and Virgo is that both parties own the truth about what their platform is. Okay, Donald, do you really support a 6-week abortion ban? You said yes, then no, then yes. You said it was too soon. Okay, Kamala, how are you going to lower grocery prices? How are you going to address these things? They're going to need to get precise. Is the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 informing Trump's campaign? Is he going to own it already or continue to deny it? Whatever's said, Jupiter is the truth teller, so it's putting this very big spotlight on both of them. So this is major. Now, the other thing that is also interesting is that Donald Trump has his North Node at 20 degrees Gemini, and Jupiter will be at 20 degrees Gemini, putting this giant spotlight, fact checker, but also casting this golden glow on his destiny point in his chart. Am I personally happy about that? Absolutely not. But I have to tell you guys what's happening in the skies. This man, they call him Teflon Don. The fact that he has Jupiter over his North Node during both of these critical dates says to me that he is going to have luck on his side with being that dualistic, outrageous Gemini gaslighter that he is. I'm not saying all Geminis are that way. I have so many Geminis in my life that I love who are not like this, but he represents the type of Gemini who does speak out of every side of his mouth. He even gave it a name. He says he weaves in conversation. So that's a new one, Geminis. You're not double talking, you're weaving. You bring it all back together, right? It's really one of those elections where astrologers will have a hard time guessing because we have eclipses coming up. That's next week. Eclipse season starts with the first eclipse on September 17th and then the second one on October 2nd. The first one's in Pisces. The second one is in Libra. So Pisces rules illusions. Libra rules justice. So, what an interesting time we live in, right? Well, a couple other things that are happening. Mars in Cancer is going to be in Kamala's first house. So she is going to be in when we fight, we win mode this Tuesday. And definitely fighting for women and modeling what it's like to be a warrior woman. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of gender-based slings coming her way and flying back and forth between them. It's going to be a really good show. The VMAs might actually pale in comparison and feel a little bit boring, but I highly doubt that because you'll have Chappell Roan, who's a Pisces with a Libra rising and a Sagittarius moon. And then you'll have Sabrina Carpenter, a Taurus, Billie Eilish, a Sag. Sabrina Carpenter and Billie Eilish both have Pisces risings. And then Eminem, the Libra, coming back in there. SZA, the Scorpio, and Megan Thee Stallion, an Aquarius. And Taylor Swift, of course, a Sagittarius. These are all the nominees that are showing up all over the place. Ariana Grande, too, a Cancer. She's got a Video of the Year nomination. Bad Bunny, a Scorpio. Doja Cat, a Libra. Kendrick Lamar, Song of the Year. I'm putting my money on that, being that he is Jupiter. I think the Song of the Year is between Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, and Sabrina Carpenter, Espresso, because both of them had Jupiter in their signs this year. That tends to be a very favorable bonus when it comes to anything like awards based. But Kendrick Lamar, he's got that Gemini hip hop cred. So many rappers are Geminis. So many of the big ones. Tupac, Biggie, Kanye. And Best New Artists, well, we'll be watching and enjoying that. So what else is happening in the skies for all of us? Well, that Mercury in Virgo really is going to keep us entertained, but on our game early in the week. And we have it there till September 26th. Wednesday, we have a waxing quarter moon in Sagittarius, which is going to temper some of that loud talking, smack talking energy of Tuesday. There could actually be some backlash coming in for some of the things that get said during the debates. Also, I know a lot of people were mad at Chappell Roan because she canceled a couple of her European tour dates so she could be at the VMAs, and they had travel plans that they made to go see her. So the quarter moon in Sagittarius is a sign of travel. There's going to be a lot of critiques going on, a lot of armchair judging going on, and people making some harsh commentary during the VMAs that sometimes Sagittarius can be a little too honest and too opinionated. So try to remember, people, that celebrities are humans too. More of this truth-bending energy comes in on Thursday when the Sun and Jupiter form this 90-degree square. So this happens twice a year. The Sun will be in Virgo and Jupiter will be in Gemini. So they form this 90-degree angle. They're immutable signs. So all the questions, all the follow-up interviews, all the follow-up research that comes from the debates and maybe even from the VMAs. Did this person deserve it? Why was this person robbed? What happened? It's just going to be a very busy, buzzy week. And in your own life, don't ignore red flags when people promise something that feels a little too good to be true, and be careful about the promises that you yourself make. So during a Sun-Jupiter square, we're prone to taking on more than we can handle and getting overwhelmed and overloaded. So that's Thursday, but you'll really feel that in the whole second half, throughout the whole week. Just be very mindful of what you say yes to. Sunday, Jupiter makes another connection, this time a very happy one. Venus, a planet of love, will trine Jupiter. This also happens twice a year. Venus, planet of love, planet of pleasure. Jupiter, the expanding, abundant planet. Venus and Jupiter are the two benefics, they're called, because they have primarily positive qualities that they represent. We're going to have the rose-colored glasses on big time. Venus is in its home sign of Libra and Jupiter is in Gemini. So this is an air trine. It's most likely that this Pollyanna energy is going to extend to our social interactions, dating, people all just wanting to look on the bright side or being super hopeful and optimistic, and great to be positive about people and look for what to to love about them. We're all human, and anyone that you love is at some point going to do something that pisses you off or disappoints you. To hold people onto these pedestals or hold them up to these impossible ideals is actually not kind. It's not giving the relationship a chance to be intimate and full, because a relationship that is truly loving makes space for the good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't mean that you don't have integrity. It doesn't mean that you act on all those good, bad, and ugly urges, but you accept that the person, like you, is beautifully flawed. And so that's something to just make sure that you're leaving room for, and asking questions if something is like, ooh, ding, yellow flag, what's going on there? That you at least take stock of that, make a note and say, I'm going to come back to that later and find out more. If I don't want to mess up the good vibe today, but I'm not just going to stuff that away in the closet. So that's a week we have. If you feel a bit like an investigative journalist, asking questions, or maybe a professional critic for the first half of the week, and then a total Pollyanna for the second half, that's the kind of duality that we're dealing with. So maybe find a middle ground of just being open-minded and discerning this week. There's no way around it, Mercury and Virgo, but again, we can at least try to be a little more fair in the assessments we make. I'll stop judging you for judging and wish you a wonderful week ahead, and we'll be back next week to talk about eclipse season and what it means. If you happen to be in New York the week of September 16th to 22nd, well, we have a couple events going on that we'd love to have you join us for. We're going to be doing a Virgo season dinner. There's still a few tickets left for that at Walker Hotel in Greenwich Village Society Cafe, and the chef is doing a Virgo-themed multi-course dinner. We're going to be talking to you about astrology and giving you some forecasts and fun things to take away with you. Plus, everyone who comes gets a copy of our book, The Astrology Advantage, which is super exciting. We are also going to be speaking at the Fast Company Innovation Summit. So you can find out all of these things at astrostyle.com/events. Grab tickets, get your seat reserved, and we'd love to meet you IRL if you do come. I already know some of our friends are going to be there, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, so we'll see you there or catch you back on the podcast next week. Have a great week, everyone. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrostyle.com, and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.